So whenever people say this show really jumped the shark, to me that always seems like, well, this is when the show went downhill. This is
Right.
when the show, but the reference is the Happy Days
That's right.
when Fonzie jumps the shark. But that didn't kill Happy Days.
No.
That show still ran. So why is that? Why is the jump the shark moment related to something people say? Well, that's when the show went downhill, and that's when the show became
Well,
bad.
I can imagine Gary Marshall and his writers saying, "Hey, listen, we've already spun this off to a show that's about a guy from outer space,
Yeah.
because so having him jump over a shark is not really." But I think the reason why the term became well known is that's the point in the history of a show when it becomes completely implausible, when it's all
Yeah.
about doing whatever you have to get ratings.
But that's not what ended that show. You know what I'm saying? So
No,
I
it
think
didn't.
people just maybe people in hindsight thought that that's what killed Happy Days was
Well,
jumping the shark.
it
But
probably didn't help, but
yeah,
funny thing is, you should mention this. On YouTube, I found the this promo, season promo. You're old enough perhaps to remember this, but the networks used to do these very elaborate song and dance presentations to introduce their new season.
yeah.
And I found this video that's one of these promos. I found it on YouTube, and it was so inspiring. I just was overwhelmed. I said, all these shows I know were shit. I never watched them, but boy, if I had seen that promo, I would have been
Yeah.
there. They have Henry Winkler and somebody else arriving in a helicopter going over the skyline of Manhattan and landing at a heliport, and all his fans around, and they're all singing in unison, and there's dance numbers breaking
Yeah.
out. And it looked like they spent a fortune on this thing. It was unbelievable. Every member of every show that they had was in the, was there dancing and singing.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, what must it have been like for these actors to have to be
To do that, yeah.
doing that? But it was effective,
Oh yeah.
and it also made network television seem like a place. It wasn't just shows.
Yeah, yeah.
And this might be something that Netflix should think about.
Oh, there you go.
When you tuned into ABC on a particular night, you knew what to expect, and you felt like you were going someplace and you were hanging out with friends. Even
Right.
if you couldn't stand them, you still
Yeah.
recognized them and you knew what to expect, and you felt like you were part of a family. And now there's nothing like that on
No.
television.
When you wanna be in great company, come on and join our family. Come on along to the place where you belong. Strike up the band, we're playing your song. There's new excitement coming on strong.